is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. We weren't going to do a video Saturday, which is today, because of the fact that, honestly, just too nice of a day. But everyone's out of the house for a few minutes, and the barbecue grill was warming up, so I thought I'd jump upstairs to the Online Big Blue studios and do a quick video about two topics, and also wanted to mention we are doing a stream tomorrow, Sunday at noon. Be there. Maybe some more big news about the channel coming up. I don't know. I can't tell. Something's coming up. Something's coming up for the channel on Saturday. Also, go follow me on All Nonsense Sports, every place you can find podcasts, and also from NFL Talk from across the pond and back, also every place that you can find podcasts. Or if you want, just go to onlineBigBlue.com and you can find all the podcasts and all the YouTube channels in one place. Again, that's onlineBigBlue.com. So, wanted to get into the New York Giants draft. Anyone that tells you they know what's going on or what Dave Gettleman has in his mind right now, or what the Giants have in their mind, you don't know anything. There's no way to prognosticate this draft right now because there are so many variables for the Giants in reference to the number of quarterbacks going ahead of them, the potential skill players falling down to them, the potential defensive players falling down to them, the needs on the current within the current organization. There is no way. I usually hear some chatter about what's going on with the Giants for the last couple of years. Because like I said, we do know a couple of people that are still in and around MetLife. But I haven't heard anything. It was the same thing with free agency. We called three of the top free agent signees for the Giants 2 days before it even happened. Because we had some information, but I'm getting nothing. Got nothing during free agency. Getting nothing on the draft here. So I think it's fair to say that Dave Gettleman and the organization is trying to keep this close to the vest because in my mind, the best thing to do would be to trade down in this draft and build up assets. And honestly, I would prefer to trade down in this draft and build up assets in 2021 because I think the need positions that we have are going to be more readily available in 2021. But it's neither here nor there. But like I said, everyone's doing mock drafts. And everyone's like, you haven't done a mock draft yet. I'm not going to do a mock draft. I'll do a mock draft maybe like 3 days before the draft. There's just too many variables. You look at the San Francisco, Miami Eagles trade, everything there's just too many variables. You can't just sit there and go, that's what the Giants are going to do. We have been doing analysts. Oh, I also want to thank the people who were so kind to point out that the audio was off yesterday. I was using the laptop and I wasn't able to get into the studio yesterday. So that's why the audio was off. We are back into the Online Blue studio. You can tell. Hey-o. So that's why the audio was a little bit off. I am glad that people are noticing the difference between the audio. That just shows that the money we spent on this equipment was worthwhile. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, I think I mentioned it a couple times. We decided to donate all of our super chats to Philadelphia Children's Hospital. And we'll do that monthly. And we were able to donate $110 last month. $30 of that came directly from our friend Mr. Lewis at RPM Auto. If you're looking for a car, go find him on social media. It's RPM Audio. He can hook you up. He'll actually bring the car to your house. So hopefully we're going to try to give $115 this month. So that's, we're going to try to build it up every month. I want to try to donate at least $1,000 before we retire, before we quit in February. But I wanted to talk about a player for the New York Giants because I always jokingly, or maybe half-heartedly jokingly say that the Giants are going to draft a defensive end. Well, they should draft a defensive end. I'm very confused today. I've been saying Dave Gettleman will take a defensive tackle at 11. And that's always been a joke. But you think about what happened with our old buddy Dalvin. You have, Leonard Williams has got to pick up even more of the slack. And we probably could use a rotational player in the interior line. Now, I'm not saying we should grab this guy in the first round. He may fall to the second or the third round, might even be a little lower. But Marvin Wilson, oh, poor Marvin. Marvin was a highly touted high school recruit, 5-star recruit, went to Florida State, was tagged to being a first-round draft choice last year. 100% he was going in the first round. And what happened was the new Florida State coach came in and convinced him to stay for his senior season. which basically cost him millions of dollars because he had an okay season. He did not progress like he did from his sophomore year. And he just kind of fell off the map a little bit. He also had another injury, which he had a slight procedure for. They never tell you exactly what it was. You know, and he basically was, his final campaign at Florida State, even with COVID, was kind of disappointing with only 17 tackles and 1 sack. And this is a guy that is a good interior defensive lineman. He kind of reminds me of Leonard Williams. He really does. If you kind of take a look at him, he's broad shoulders. He's got a big barrel chest, as I like to say. One scout called him a boulder of a man. One scout said he's basically a cinder block with hands. And he's fantastic at getting into the point of the attack. He's a disruptor. He actually does remind me of Leonard Williams in some ways, because I think Leonard Williams for most of his career was a disruptor, not a finisher. And what happened was last year he became more of a finisher. And I think that's what Marvin Wilson is. He can be a disruptor in the middle of that line. He reminds me of Fletcher Cox. And I know it's a bad Eagles reference. You know, he's very, you know, if you watched him play, not last year, but if you watched him play, he is more than capable than handling, especially in college, because he went up against some, you know, very good talent. He's more than capable of handling the double teams. He showed a vast improvement in reference to recognition and in regards to the passing lanes as a junior, because he actually knocked down 5 passes in 4 games. And he blocked 3 kicks. And actually blocked 3 kicks in 2020. Now, I'm not going to say he's undersized, because Leonard Williams is not like a massively hulking defensive tackle. You know, but he's about 6'4", and, you know, it depends on where you're weighing him in. And he's about 6'4", I think, coming in. Now he's the scouts say he's 6'3", coming in at 320. He's good with his hands. He's quick. He can bring up the rush through the middle of the field. He's naturally athletic, and he's powerful. Now, yes, he is inconsistent because of the fact that we do not know, with all of his natural gifts and his build and his frame, why he had such a poor senior season. Now, was it because of the injury? And again, they're saying it's a procedure. They're not really saying what the injury was. But for a guy that has all this natural, athleticism and power, it is interesting that he has taken a little bit of a step down. I mean, if you look at him, he looks like a football player. He looks like an interior defensive lineman. I could see him being a rotational defensive tackle. You know, mainly probably in a 4-3. But we have no idea what Patrick Graham's going to play next year. He could be playing, he likes to play multiple sets. So he's just a guy that's interesting in the later rounds. And like I said, and again, I like to look at players that we're not just jumping out of, you know, everyone knows, oh, we should get Waddle, or, you know, we should go get Trevor Lawrence, or I like looking at guys a little bit further back who may have some issues, but have potential and the talent. Now, like I said, his lack of durability at times is kind of, you know, it's kind of troubling. He underwent at least 3 surgeries during his time at Tallahassee, and he missed a combined 7 games over the last 2. But I've seen it before. We've seen it before, at least I have. Players that have injured oft in college, then come into the pros and never get an injury, just like the reverse. Players that have never been injured in college turn around and become injury prone in the NFL. But if you're looking at a guy that's who had a first round grade last year, and who could potentially fall even beyond the 3rd round, I mean, he is an interesting prospect. And like I said, he kind of does remind me of Leonard Williams. Because like I said, Leonard Williams for most of his career was a disruptor, but not a finisher. And I think that is kind of what sums up Marvin Wilson. Now, the thing is, if Marvin Wilson is, if he can be mentored and tutored by Patrick and Leonard Williams, you'd be looking pretty good. It would be an interesting, solid pick. He's also a good, solid run defender. And like I said, he can push the middle of the pile. And I know some scouts say he's not athletic. I think he's athletic, especially for a guy that size. And I'm not going to say he's overwhelmingly powerful. But I think he is a guy that if you put him in the right spot, in the right position, he's got tremendous upper body strength. He's strong at stacking the line. And he can hold his ground against downhill runners. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And again, if you like, if you subscribe, if you're ringing that bell, I think that means that'd be awesome.